So let's just get right to it. We all know $7.25 is a starvation wage. Okay? And the $15 minimum wage is supported by almost 70% of the country. That's 2/3. 58 senators just voted against it.
Yes.
Today, the Senate is fundamentally opposed to democracy. 7 out of 10 people want something. 60, so 67% of the country wants it. 60% of the senators just voted against it. So just like we told you that Princeton study, that if you're in the bottom 80% of wage earners or rich people in America, you're what you want to see reflected in legislation never happens. Your desires, your will is never reflected in legislation. But if you're in the top 10% of rich people in America, whatever you want gets immediately reflected. Let's say if 10% of you want something, it'll get enacted 10% of the time. So if 67% of rich people wanted something, 67% of the time it would happen. So 7 out of 10 bills would get passed if that the rich people wanted. That's according to that Princeton study. It doesn't matter how many people who are under the 80 percentile earners want it. It could be 100% of them. It is never happening.
Who controls Congress. Given that, what's the wise way, do you think, to raise the minimum wage?
Tucker, thanks for having me. If you're going to have a minimum wage, it doesn't make any sense to have it the same in every location in America. It costs more than twice as much to live in Manhattan as it does in a small town in Kansas, and there's no earthly reason both those places should have the same minimum wage. Similarly, it doesn't make any sense to have the same minimum wage for huge multinational companies with thousands of employees and billions of dollars in profits as it does for, say, the deli on the corner of your block at home. The deli owner's probably working in his own store. He may want a few hours off in the afternoon and bring in a high school kid. The concept of the left's concept of a livable wage, I think it's much easier to apply that to a Walmart or a Target than it is to the deli guy. And yet we don't. We have one minimum wage applying in every place for every business. It makes zero sense.